Behind the cape. All right, let's talk about this Ray movie update. Or I'm gonna let you get some bars off about this Ray movie update.
Well, there's a rumor that it is canceled. To many Star Wars fans' applause, but more importantly, I mean, I think that was pretty much sought after the realigning over the summer at SDCC when we got Mando and Grogu highlighted and nothing else. I think that pretty much told us that whatever was going on with the Ray movie and why we hadn't heard anything about it being in development, it's probably why. It's either reorganized or at very least it's been delayed. So the more frustrating news is that Daisy Ridley, even though, I feel like her character is much maligned for a lot of reasons that actually don't have anything to do with her personally. She didn't write the character. She didn't decide the direction for it. She didn't, green light the treatments for any of the films. So it's really doesn't get laid at her feet. And honestly, she had done a good job of kind of staying out of that ire.
Mm-hmm.
People who have a bad taste in their mouth from the most recent trilogy. As I think a minute ago, she was most recently quoted as saying, "Oh, well, I hadn't experienced any negativity, blah 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 blah. It is what it is." So then, just recently, I guess she was asked, what do you think about how the Rey character has been received in the last trilogy? She's like, "Oh, well, I don't listen to that criticism because I can't control how men be treating women."
Okay. All right.
No, for real though. In a roundabout way, she said, "I can't control how certain men feel about women." It's so insulting, right? There's the obvious thing of like, obviously everybody who criticizes the Rey character and her handling is not just straight up a man.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's also the laughable part of it. It's like, fam, let's play this game. Let's say Star Wars is inherently misogynistic, which I mean, to a certain degree, it is. It's a male brand, but it hasn't been so swayed in the point that you don't have inclusivity. Like there isn't room for women to partake in Star Wars. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right. But let's say it's to the degree that Daisy Ridley and Kathleen Kennedy like it to be. If it's been that way for years before you, if it's that way now, even in spite of your decades long efforts to sway it the other way, right? How many times do you need to see the check not clear before you say, "Hey, you know what? Maybe this is just the boys' playground." Like I'm a play your game with you. Let's say it is a male thing.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a male thing, you've known it's a male thing. You took the job. You signed up. You did 3 movies.
Yeah.
You came back on to do some more. So this inherently sexist fan base is doing pretty well for you at Wells Fargo, I'm sure. I find it weird that like you're coming back for more, ready to cash the check, but it's like, gross Star Wars fans, they don't like women. It's like, first of all, that's bullshit. Secondly, even if it was true, then what the hell are you doing? What are you doing?
Right.
What are you doing? Why are you doing this? If that were true, then why are you walking headfirst into it? I'm gonna tell you what, I'm not Myron from Fresh and Fit. If I know it's a room full of racists, I'm not going.
Being Myron from Fresh and Fit is crazy.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not going. If I know that there is a space that I am decidedly unwanted in, I am not going to force my way into it. I think that's weird energy. And then again, tracking it all the way back, I don't agree with the premise because it's a fallacy, man. Women have always been prevalent, in the Star Wars universe in both trilogies that predated Rey's in the sequel trilogy, right? Padme Amidala, Leia, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Even in our most recent iterations of Star Wars, Ahsoka Tano, fucking Bo-Katan, what was Gina Carano's character? Goddamn, y'all know Gina Carano.
Gina Carano.
Yeah. like over and over and over again. They even had room to actually use a celebrity like a Meg Thee Stallion and actually use her as a character with Sasha Banks and actually give her some depth, have her do something. You know what I mean? She didn't walk in that joint and swing her hair around 10 times and pose for the camera. Like, what is all of this? Oh man, Star Wars fans hate women so much. It is a trash ass excuse that is usually reserved for less talented people, and I didn't expect to see her go that way. So it's disappointing to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, right, because we weren't here again. We didn't hear this around the time Star Wars Celebration last year. She had never said anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now the movie seems to have been reorganized or delayed, and now all of a sudden, oh man, those damn Star Wars fans. Probably in her mind, those are the people that, along with the Acolyte, got her movie either shelved or pushed to the back. However, she's boiling it down. Really doesn't matter to me anymore. I was going to leave her out of that whole, the Star Wars thing, because she never played into that. She never blamed the fans for the performance of the movies or the reception until now. So it just, I'm never going to get with that. I'm never going to. You are selling art. Art is subjective. If people don't like it, you either did something wrong or you sell it to the wrong people.
Sure.
It's just all it is.
Makes sense. Bane and Deathstroke might be the next Batman project or one of the next Batman projects. You don't seem too keen on it though.
What the hell? Where is that coming from? Why are we doing it? What does it matter? What universe is it in? What
the Patterverse?
Why would it be in the Pattonverse? They don't. The Matt Reeves doesn't like comic book characters. He doesn't like the comic book aspect of Batman. So why would he do Bane? And Bane and Deathstroke are they're very grounded characters.
Sure.
They could be. Bane was done. He was kind of retconned to be a little bit more grounded in the Nolan Batman verse.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, cartoon version of Bane and comic book version of Bane are a little bit more eccentric, a little bit more out there.
Plus, he's a lot more realistic, not just this towering figure.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I villain movies without the main guy, very hit or miss, usually miss. So that's a knock against.
At least people have an intro to Bane and kind of know who Bane is because of the Nolan movie.
Which means you really got to knock out the casting.
Yeah.
And who are we going then? Bane and Deathstroke.
We're going back to Tom Hardy.
Nah. Batista for Bane.
Makes sense.
Give me, and I mean like the intellect of the Bane, right? Like he was smart. He made the formula that got him all juiced up, right? Like give me that out of Batista. He's going to be a very good actor. And then for Deathstroke,
I don't know how I feel about that one. I was gonna say the guy who plays Soldier Boy.
Jared Padalecki? No, not Jared Padalecki.
Jensen Ackles.
Jensen Ackles. I do that to them all the time. Yeah, okay, I can see that.
Oh wow, somebody said Jimon Hansu, not in the chat, but somebody on the line said
Deathstroke.
Yeah. A black Deathstroke?
You don't know my issues with that, but it could be done.
Sure.
Damn. Josh Brolin's face keeps popping up. I don't want it to be Josh Brolin. I think he's played too much. I think he could do it well, though.
Sure.
Could let me check. See, this is the thing, man. Young actors are not replacing some of these older guys. I just keep thinking of old guys that can do it, and I don't want to have a very repurposed face. I'm trying to think of a younger guy.
I don't see that. Somebody wanted to cast the guy from Orange is the New Black and Den of Thieves 1, porn stash from Orange is the New Black.
Halo guy, Master Chief from Halo.
Yep.
He's got the build. He definitely has the build. Yeah. Ooh, what about Carl Urban?
That could work.
Carl Urban, or okay, help me out, Jack. Hobbit, Desolation of Smaug. The guy, he was the fisherman, but he ended up shooting down Smaug at the end of that movie with the crossbow on his son's back, on his son's shoulder. What's dude's name? What's that actor's name? Yes, that guy, Luke Evans. Luke Evans.
I can see him being Namor.
I,
We already have a
we
Namor,
already
but
have a name more, but
I can see that.
he'd be an awesome Deathstroke.
He would. I can see that.
I could take a Cavill. Pause.
Yo.
Now
Yo.
we're ready to change it to I could do Cavill.
That's even worse.
Yep.
Cavill, you don't think he'd be a little bit too big to be the show?
I mean, kind of same problem with Master Chief guy, or like he's like 6'5".
Yeah, but Henry Cavill is.
I mean, Deathstroke is somewhat of a unity, special ops. He's
Sure.
a guy. He's a dude. So I can see it. All of the guys we named, I think, have the physical build. We're just going for facial recognition. The list gets a little bit shorter, but all of those are pretty good options.
No more CBM work for Carl Urban, please and thanks. Oversaturation in the near distance for him.
Okay, I take that.
All right. Moving on. Okay. So probably the biggest part of this this segment today is going to be lanterns. Seems like we were getting some casting rumors about who's going to play Hal Jordan, who's going to play Jon Stewart. And a lot of it is leaning towards Damson Idris. A lot of it is Aaron Pierre, your homeboy.
Rebel Ridge.
Who you like.
Again, if you have not seen Rebel Ridge yet, spin the block on that for sure.
Stephen James is in that list somewhere in there. So quite a few people to play Jon Stewart. And then Kyle Chandler from Friday Night Lights to play Hal Jordan, potentially.
Stephen James, my most notable film for him would be 21 Bridges with Chadwick Boseman.
Mm-hmm.
Good in that. My dude from Friday Night Lights as Hal Jordan. I really like the dichotomy they're setting up with those two roles between Hal and John. It feels like whatever the Gunn has planned with the lanterns seems like it's a
well thought out,
layered story. Like it's going to be a progressing story. That's why he's kind of setting up the mentor mentee thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think he kind of has to do it that way if he's a Hal Jordan fan, because it is just my line of thinking that Hal or Gal Gardner are kind of begotten characters in the Green Lantern fan base. I think they have moved on to Jon Stewart, in my opinion. People have other opinions about that. But this way, you get to honor your classic Justice League and DC fans with with Hal Jordan starting out in, traditionally in his spot as a leader. And then I think eventually you'll see through that mentorship, Jon Stewart ends up being the guy, while Jon Stewart, even still throughout the story, is the focus.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's why you're kind of getting these casting dichotomies, right? That's like the dude from Friday Night Lights next to Damson Idris. Who do you think is going to be the lead?
Damson Idris.
Josh Brolin and Aaron Pierre. I mean, that it gets a little bit closer there, but then again, just because of the ages and how the show's going to be set up, naturally the lead is going to gravitate towards the younger character because he has the more what is it? Not I'm trying to say upside, but not upside. More
potential.
There you go. That's more potential.
So then you think this is going to basically be told from the standpoint that Jon Stewart's going to be the main character, which I think is what we've gotten from all the rumors. And then
Green Lantern Logan style. Like you know what I mean? That
but Hal Jordan
going to die like that. Maybe not. Hopefully not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something like esque of that.
But Hal Jordan is going to be the guy. We just won't see it from that perspective. We'll see it from Jon Stewart's perspective.
At the time, Hal Jordan will probably be the number one Lantern on Earth. And then as that series progresses or whatever, film plans they have for the Lanterns will put John into that place.
As long as the story is told well, that would work pretty
That's
well.
what it seems like. But even still, let's say they get the guy from Friday Night Lights and they get Damson Idris. Right. Okay. There's no way you're shooting that film. What is his name? I keep forgetting it. And I love
Kyle Chandler. Kyle Chandler.
I love Kyle Chandler. I loved him in the Godzilla movies. There's no way we're putting him and Damson Idris on screen and he's the primary and Damson is unless the setup of the film is completely different, but not in the physical set of a superhero movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah,
like it'll become very obvious who the subject is, who the point of focus is in the story for the audience when you're setting it up that way. When you have a older, kind of more seasoned veteran and a young upstart.
Was he a Fed in the Wolf of Wall Street? He was a cop.
Yeah,
that's what it was. Okay. Because I'm like, I know him from something. I don't know him from Friday Night Lights, but then
he's been in a lot of stuff.
Okay. King Kong too.
King Kong, yep.
Okay. All right. Then yep. I know. I like him then. He's good. All right.
The other part of that though, is that the Aaron Pierre fan casting. Oh, I want to be Blade. Oh, I want to be Jon Stewart. I want to. Listen, man, I love that Aaron Pierre is getting all of this love because I think it's well deserved. He's had a great year.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Pierre shouldn't be Blade or Jon Stewart.
Neither one.
It shouldn't be any one of those characters.
What do you think it should be?
Well, to set that aside,
okay.
While I understand that some of it comes from just a longing to get, a young budding black star back into a prominent position, and I understand that, and I would understand if he even took it. I still recognize that like Blade is one of one in that, or one of maybe two. Well, one of one right now, but traditionally probably one of two if we ever get to T'Challa Black. That is set up for a dark-skinned black male lead actor.
Yeah.
To lead a franchise, especially in the superhero genre. And so I think Aaron Pierre is going to get a lot of calls, as he's been getting calls, right? I was watching Aaron Pierre in the M. Night Shyamalan film, was it Old, a couple years ago. Nobody even knew his name. So I think you stay responsible with the castings. You know what I mean? Don't just throw him into the first black role that's available. He's not a blunt object. You put him in the roles that best fit him. Same for everybody else, right? I don't know if Damson is right for Green Lantern. I would lean a little bit further that way than I would Aaron P. Well, I don't know. See, the way that they emote, I do think that Aaron Pierre is closer to the Jon Stewart we know in the books. But typically Damson Idris fits it a little bit closer. So I don't know. That one's a tough one to call. Additionally, though, I would like to see it go the way that it seems to fit.
I feel like Aaron's maybe a little bit bigger than Damson Idris.
A little bit bigger, has that more general, like that military kind of demeanor.
Yeah.
He gives that off a little bit better than Damson does at this point.
He fits what I think Jon Stewart should look like more so, except the light skin thing.
Except for him being light skinned, that's the only thing that's throwing it off. Yeah. It's like when I look at them, I point to Dangerous, and then when they start talking or moving, I'm gonna be like, hold on, wait,
Yeah. So it sounds like you kind of actually do like.
No, I understand. I understand it, and I think he could do it well. And I would understand if he took it, if they offered it to him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, maybe let's dig a little bit more. Stephen James is an awesome pick. I was surprised to see that name floating around. I think that would be a great pick, actually, underrated one too, because his portfolio isn't as big as the other guys right now. So you can really build upon that. You can really build his stardom up as Jon Stewart, and that could maybe that could turn into a film, that could turn into being part of the Justice League in the first Justice League film. You never know. But that could be a kind of budding star position
Yeah.
See those.
Zane Beto says Aaron is a miscast. Trevante Rhodes should be John.
I can see Trevante.
He has that look for it, but then do you think he gives off
demeanor? He doesn't give off square. Like you need to have just enough square in you, but just enough soul. You know what I mean? It was like a mixture. Like John could have been your cool uncle, but he was also like your school principal or something like that too. Mm-hmm. At the same time, it was very
and I get very young, hip, urban from Trevante Rhodes with his roles in Moonlight and Bird Box, like a very one of us kind of guy.
Predator movie.
Mm-hmm.
Predator movie too.
So I mean, I like him as an actor, but like Jon Stewart specifically, Aaron is too red for this role. To quote the ancestors, he's not a fit, in my opinion.
He's too red.
Yeah, that's crazy. Tony Robinson says Johnny Majors.
Okay. I don't think Gunn has the stones to pull the trigger, but you talk about a cast. You talking about somebody who could pull that role off. I mean,
sure. That could be that could be the role for him to.
Yeah, that would probably be a dream come true for him. But I don't know if he.
I mean, y'all had Homeboy play the Flash. Give him a chance.
They did have Homeboy play the Flash, but that may be the very reason why they don't even look that way. It's because they just got off of Homeboy playing the Flash. Like they just got rid of that.
So William Moloch had me on a couple of these. He says Jon Stewart's movie is coming out after Blade. Then he said Renzi Felix, the guy from Penguin, wants to play Miles. I'm like, oh, okay, all right.
Miles Morales. Are you talking about what's the name? The Penguin's assistant?
Yeah.
Nah.
But then he said Tyrese Gibson
could play who?
Jon Stewart. I'm assuming. Which is crazy.
I think he would try really hard. I think he would do his best.
He'd give it the old college try.
I think he would do really, really well because I think he tries. But that is a big role. That's a big plate. And the most emotion I've ever seen out of little baby boy over there to crying in baby mama arms.
Fact.
After he got kicked out of his house.
So I need for Kyle Chandler to look at him and be like, I said, forget about it, cuz.
Go ahead. Cry for your mama. Mama.
Yo, crazy. This is the guy who's in the most recent. This is Homeboy from Power. Kanan's son.
Kanan's son.
Kanan's son.
Ooh.
Sean. I knew the name.
Sean, okay. Yay. Okay. I like that.
You know, the last movie he was in was the Jack Harlow White Men Can't Jump movie.
Yeah, I didn't watch that, so I don't know how his acting has progressed and was got to be
Power.
At least like 6-7 years since I've seen him on Power. Aaron Pierre as Blue Marvel. We'll find somewhere. We'll find something for Aaron Pierre. It's a role out there for him for sure.
Damn, Sean was in Blue Mountain State too. I forgot about that.
Yeah, Sean for Power.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, for sure. What's up next?
Your boy James Samuel, the director of The Harder They Fall, and if I'm not mistaken, the guy who accused Jay-Z of stealing some shit from his house, some like very expensive toilet paper, if I'm not mistaken. He is possibly directing Blade.
Hey, I love this. Well, I love it. I hate it, but I love it. Right? I love it for two different reasons, and I hate it. The first reason why I love it is because I love The Harder They Fall. Love that movie. Criminally underrated.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And the Book of Clarence. Did he do that too?
I don't know. Yeah. Book of Clarence was a little slow.
He was involved with that movie. I don't know if he directed it.
But yeah, no. Harder They Fall was good. I also love this because maybe they're choosing a different grade of creator if this is the direction they're going for Blade.
Directed by him.
That bodes well. The only thing that makes me hate it is Nia DaCosta. Nia Costa was kind of the same cloth. She had a few movies, smaller productions, black cast. We loved it. Rest of Hollywood kind of turned their nose up to it, looked away. So it's kind of looking like, oh, well, Disney's kind of giving them an opportunity. And that type of situation, that type of relationship then creates the conditions for me to say, oh, I'm giving you this chance. Write what I tell you to write.
Yeah.
And that I don't love.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe I'm putting the cart before the horse here. It could just be that they're, going in the direction of a director that I like. I think last we heard they were talking to the John Wick guy, so I don't know where we're at on this. I like either one of those options. If they want to split the baby, one of them writes, one of them directs. I like that too. But yeah, I would like his involvement in the project for sure. I think it's
everything that I've seen from him has been of at least decent quality. I haven't had any kind of issues with what he's come out with. I obviously really like The Harder They Fall, so I'm here for it. I just feel like every rumor we get about Blade is like, is it really going to happen?
Right.
So then it's like,
well, they won't there.
Right. Disney seems to be the latest subscription-based streaming service that is going after password sharers. And we know how much you love companies going after password sharers.
It's dumb. It's just stupid. It's stupid. There's no way that you can stop people from doing this. Realistically, there's no way. Are you going to stop me, the actual owner of the account, from using it wherever I want to? No? Okay, well then fuck off. Fuck off. You can lower the amount of devices, which is just going to piss off your existing subscriber base.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no way you can stop me from letting him use my Netflix account. It's just, you can't do it.
What's the point of setting up users aside from like adults and kids?
Or let me take that back. There are ways that you can do it. There are ways you can probably monitor it, but do you want to spend the extra dollars monitoring it? Do you want to create the extra infrastructure to monitor it and make sure that nothing's slipping through? Because that's the only way it would be effective, efficient. Right? You would be pouring money into finding out who's doing what and keeping track of it, just so that you could administer fines or suspensions or whatever. That shit costs money. People need to carry that out.
And it's going to cost them a lot of money because they're going to have to do it for Disney, Hulu, and what other ESPN,
National
I guess?
Geographic, ESPN.
They have to do it for all those.
Stop it. Cut the madness. This comes off as frivolous penny pinching from a $1 billion corporation.
An evil $1 billion corporation.
It's not enough that we're looking at $20 a pop for these things as it is, but don't share it. Can you please fuck off stage right, please go away. Goddamn greedy oligarchs, go away.
Thanks. Okay, the Ballerina trailer. I know we both saw it.
I did. I thought that shit was heat.
Fire.
I thought that shit was heat. And they did a very good job of kind of explaining the time period. This is obviously a prequel, right? Whose daughter is this? Who she's talking about? Who her family is? Who her daddy is? Because at first I thought this was John Wick's daughter, but
doesn't seem to be the case.
It doesn't seem to be that. So whose daughter is this? Where the hell does she come from?
And then the obvious showing in the trailer that John Wick is going to be in this movie.
I didn't mind it.
I felt it was unnecessary. We all knew he was going to be in it, but like,
yeah, I didn't mind it because number one, you're right. We all knew he was going to be in it. Number two, if it's a prequel, it's better to define that clearly because they have so many different John Wick properties going on right now. Right? You went back in time for Winston. Now I don't know how far back in time we went for Ballerina, but now you're talking about doing John Wick 5. So it's like you got a lot of stuff going on in the John Wick timeline. It'd be good to define it right now to let people know when this is.
That's true. I just couldn't have done it any other way. Couldn't find any other way to define what time period you were. I don't know. And then in this case, we always talk about how tying the main characters into the little spin-off movies is important to continue relevancy
John
into
Wick's
those other
getting it
movies.
right.
So they are getting it right.
Getting
So
it right.
it's a good thing. I wish it wouldn't have been apparent in the trailer. That's all. Okay. Wild Robot. That was the name of the movie, right? The
Yes,
kids movie.
DreamWorks.
Opens with 35 million domestically.
Out of nowhere, I heard nothing about this movie.
I was like, I don't even know what that movie
Very
is.
little marketing. Huge opening, 35 million. That's one of the biggest animated openings in a while, especially for DreamWorks. So, and they're working on Shrek 5.
Shrek 5.
So, unexpected hit. Shrek 5, quick 1-2. DreamWorks right back at the head of the table. Animation. Imagine going to sleep for like a decade and a half. How long has DreamWorks been under? What has DreamWorks been putting out for? I mean, I'm also not a kid, so I don't know that to talk. But when they were at their height, that was the height of the Shrek era, right? Michael Myers was running shit. That seems like so long ago to me now.
Yeah,
so long ago to me. And the fact that they've been gone that long, and within what we talking 2 films, they could be right back over Disney in animation. Sickening.
Yeah,
sick to my stomach, fam.
Gross. Yeah, hopefully they're putting their all into the Shrek movie because it, like you said, it can definitely do big things for them over there. Meanwhile, Megalopolis flopping hard. I think it only did like 1 million in the first day, and now it's at 4 million for the weekend.
That shit is flopping.
Yeah,
hard as hell. A little bit of karma mixed in this too. He's a big MCU hater. He was groping women on the set, kissing them and shit.
Yikes.
I think a lot of the press leading into this movie kind of killed it, to be honest with you.
Sure.
Like, I mean, it's just not very good. Not very good press when you have, shitty working conditions and said to be kissing people unwillingly on set. Your old ass. Plus, I mean, you already ruffled a lot of feathers with your whole, I hate those superhero old man, get off my lawn bullshit. So, I don't know. He's just not a very popular figure these days. It's sad to see because, I mean, he's made at least 2 great American classics for sure.
Godfather and Godfather 2.
Never take those away from him. Never take them away. But this one stinks. Boy.
My guy thinks that Hollywood does not want him anymore.
A D+.
A quote from him.
That's the ornament. He said Hollywood doesn't want it no more. I mean, it's even like that. Even if there were some forces behind it that made it flop this hard, that's kind of telling in itself that somebody's that vested in seeing you fail.
Imagine you could see Megalopolis 5 times in its opening week and it would be different each time. It would have been the future of the movies and ancient theater rolled into one. I think my boy's off his rocker. Just throwing that out
Different
there.
every time. Fam, do you know that these shits cost $15? How many times do you think I'm going to see this fucking movie?
They're going to have a live stream in the middle of a movie.
Okay, I don't have time for this.
It's going to be the next Bandersnatch.
You're going to stop. Hey, if Jonathan Majors got cast as Jonathan Stewart, that would literally be the creme de la creme. That would change his life. He prays for that day. Don't stop that man's payday. What makes Francis Ford Coppola's science fiction immune from criticism? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Making Godfather and Godfather 2.
No. I mean, if it's crap, it's crap. And it just kind of is what it is. But he just didn't do himself any favors going into trying to sell a product. I never understand why they don't understand that there's a sales aspect to putting these movies out. They just think they get to walk up, go do the thing, turn it on, turn it off, and then be a dick to everybody who's supposed to go grab a ticket. And it's like, hey, yo, who the F are you talking to? Who are you talking to, fam? I'm a what? I'm a phobe. Well, then stick the movie up the back way. Up the back entrance. Because, like, I don't know this new age thing of, like, I'm just going to piss everybody off. And he's not even a new age director, so it's really fucked up. It's like...
Yeah, he's a classic director.
So, like, I'm going to just, kiss all these women on set, make
do some
work
weird
late,
weird shit on set.
Yeah,
toxic work environment.
I'm gonna make fun of my peers, degrade the work.
I want to make Godfather 3.
I want to make Michael's daughter sleep with his nephew. Jesus Christ.
Ugh.
Man's been into some weird stuff for some years now.
Facts.
Somebody should probably check on him. How did his life story go on Paramount? with Miles Teller playing him. Did anybody see that? Anybody see that movie about Francis Ford Coppola's life? About the making of The Godfather?
Is that realistic? Does Miles Teller look like him?
I don't fucking know.
I feel like he doesn't. That's old. That's a picture of him being old. I should probably look up young.
Young Francis Ford Coppola.
No, the answer is no. The answer is no.
Hey, the disrespect. The disrespect. I know Miles Teller was in that bitch like, hey, bro, what?
Yikes.
Oh my God.
Anyway.
Got Zach Galifianakis.
Facts.
He should have got Zach Galifianakis.
Big facts.
Woo-wee. They could have got Kevin from The Office and put a beard on him.
Yo. Anyway.
Miles Teller is ridiculous. That is nonsense, right?
That is.
Coppola.
That is.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that guy looks like me. Him, that guy, that extremely handsome guy right there. He looks like me.
Oh my God.
He will play me in my life story.
Bro looks like the Unabomber. Oh my God. And he got Miles Teller to play him. And oh my God.
Legit.
Ugh.
Legit.
Whew.